Note to self, if you're going to record YouTube videos, make sure it's recording. I gotta redo all this again. So, I wanted to make a video copying one of my favorite YouTubers, The Blind Sniper, and Readiness Reviews, and all of them, they've done this before. Is they made a video recently of their favorite rifles in their collection. I don't have as many rifles as they do, so I'm not going to do a top 5 because that's pretty much my whole collection, and some of them are turds. But I can do my top 2. So this is my second favorite rifle. This is a Gras cavalry carbine from France, but mine is very specific. It's been converted like 4 different times in 4 different spots. You can tell it. There's been changes to it. For example, we're going to start out with the first thing that I know is mine actually wasn't just a Gras rifle. Mine was a Chassepot that was converted to a Gras rifle. And a lot of people are asking, how can you tell the difference and what's the difference? Well, if you get one and it doesn't say anything other than 1774 right there, then it's a Chassepot that was converted. Mine says MLE 1866-74, which means that this was a Chassepot formerly. The difference is that the bolt head, it didn't have an extractor, it didn't even have a bolt head. It was a striker fired system. So instead of all this, there would be like a giant needle, and you load in a paper cartridge that had a round ball in the front, and the paper would be full of black powder, and there'd be a little striker flint on the end of that pin, and once you sent it in and pulled the trigger, the striker would hit the firing needle, and the firing needle would set off the black powder, therefore shooting the whole round out. France did that because in 1860s they were worried that their only factory that could produce metal casings for these guns would get captured in another conflict. So they said, you know what, we're not going to do that, we're going to run the Chassepots. And they regretted that. In like 1870 they realized, man, we should have switched over. So they started converting a bunch of Chassepots into Gras, which is what I have right here. Mine also got rebarreled, and I think it's because the rifling on it before wore out. Does not have a matching number, but it's been with this rifle for a while. You can see all the wearing on it. So this has been with it for a while. The other conversion that this thing has done, and why I say I think it got rid of the old barrel, is this stock used to be a full-length stock. If you see right here, there's like a corked wood where they replaced it from where this used to be there. That means this used to be a full-length infantry rifle. That means the barrel went like another 4 inches, you had a bayonet attachment, and normally on the infantry rifles you'd have a straight bolt handle. I think it all got replaced, and I think this whole thing got converted to be a cavalry carbine, which I'm totally cool with. That means this thing's got a hell of a story with it. And that's why I like it. Now, the issue is about shooting this thing is that they don't really make a whole lot of 11mm, 10mm black powder rounds for this thing. And they're expensive. However, there's a company out of Cincinnati that you can look up and order this thing on. It's a tube conversion where you can insert a 410 shotgun shell into this little hole right here, and it will insert into the rifle, and you can shoot 410 shotgun shells out of it. If you have one that has good rifling like I do, you can shoot 410 slugs and it'll actually activate the rifling, and you can get stabilized bullets downrange. It's not going to be no smooth bore. It's actually going to activate and work. I have tested that, and I'm going to probably do another video here soon showing it off. But yeah, this rifle very easily, even though it's my oldest rifle in the collection, became one of the best rifles in my collection. The only note that I wish I had is I wish I had my front sight or my rear sight. The thing is, over in Ethiopia, they took them all off because I don't really know why, but a lot of them were just missing. You can actually order replacement ones on there, and you can solder it in place. But I'm using this as a 410 shotgun shell, so I'm kind of just winging it like a shotgun. The other really cool note that I have to mark on this is just for the history of it. There are little stamps right here that are in Ethiopian. In like the 1890s or in the 1900s, the king of Ethiopia, Tito, I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. And then later, his wife, after he passed away, the empress, would mark these guns as protection and owned by the property of the emperor or empress. So I don't know what those symbols are, but it either says emperor or empress. So this gun was technically owned by royalty of Ethiopia, the last king. It just adds a really cool history factor to it, and it makes my gun even more one of a kind. And I'm going to move on to my favorite rifle that I have in this collection. And we're going to move straight into it. This right here is the baby. I love this thing. This thing eats anything I throw at it. It's happy for any ammunition, surplus, brand new, soft points, anything. This is my baby. This is my number 4 Mark I Lee Enfield. It is not made in Britain. This is a Savage-made rifle for Britain during World War II. In like the 1943 and 42, Britain asked the U.S. to make a lot of different Lend-Lease weapons, tanks, stuff like that, and ship it over to them so that way they could fight the war, so that way America didn't have to worry about getting over there right away until D-Day in 44. But this is U.S. property marked. I got Savage markings all throughout the wood furniture. It's a really, really cool piece, and I put a lot of love into it. The only things I've had to buy that I needed to buy to fix it is I took it for the range, like my 3rd time ever taking this thing shooting, and the extractor broke. But that's like a $2 piece on Apex Gun Parts. Love those guys. They got good deals. Now, a few things that I haven't fixed on this thing, and then I'll tell you what I bought extra for it. I haven't fixed the rear ladder sight. I don't have the sliding piece here. I'm not going to really go that far of a range, and I like it. I like rifles as original as they can. Like if the rifle's got scratches and dings, I don't want to fix it. I love scratches and dings. It tells a story. It tells where it was dropped. It tells the story of the soldier that carried it. And I just think it's really, really cool to have something all scarred up and be like, yeah, that thing went through it with the dude. So I don't really like cleaning them up. The thing that I hate, though, is when people just jam stuff into here. I have never been able to get this buttstock off this rifle. Someone had jammed a different size oiler bottle from a different rifle into the butt plate hole right here. And I have not been able to reach this butt screw. I've tried using a hook with a torch and just melting through everything to pull it out. Like, I have not been able to reach this bolt, and I don't want to cut the buttstock to be able to do it, because I love the way this buttstock looks on this rifle. Plus, it's also got its Savage markings, too. There's a few engravings, actually, on the buttstock here. It says SVS 1839 1422. I'm guessing that's probably like a rack number or something from Ethiopia. That's where this came from, too. This is another RTI rifle purchase. This was actually the first of 2 that I ordered from the very first time I ordered RTI. And I bought it for $250. And so far, I've only had to put $3 worth of parts mandatory into it to make it work. And this is the best investment ever. This thing loves 174 grain surplus. It loves 180 grain soft points. It loves 150 grains. The muzzle is a little worn. By little, I mean damn near out, but it still activates everything. Let's see if I can get a... There's just a sliver of it there, and I'm probably going to eventually have to go get it counterbored when it starts to mess up. But I'd rather counterbore it than rebarrel it, because it's also got the 2-groove barrel like Savage made. So it makes this rifle, there was no real serial numbers, or they're worn down so much I can't read, but I'd almost bet this is a completely matching gun, which is really, really cool, especially for it to be a Savage. The other thing I bought for it is I also bought a set of bayonets from Apex. These are number 4 Mark IIs. I got them for a set for $12. Cleaned all the cosmeline out of it. You should have seen it. When you press this button, it just goo out. But I got it all cleaned up, and very quickly, this is my favorite rifle. I wish 303 was more available, because I'd take this thing plinking every day. Now, I'm going to give you guys a bonus rifle just because I like it. And you guys have been really, really good. Bonus rifle time. This is the biggest pain in my butt, but also my favorite. We have my number 1 Mark III. This is the other rifle that I bought when I bought that number 4 Mark I, except I bought this thing as the junk level. This was a B grade, but it came without a bolt, and it came without a magazine. So I pretty much just got this sent to the gun store. And I was still very, very happy. This thing had really good grooves. I did have to pay to get it counterboard, so you really can't check the muzzle because it just eats it all the way to the case. But this thing has been a pain in the butt to finally get it to shoot right. And once I did, I just love this thing too. Even though it's the biggest pain in the butt. Main issue is that it didn't like heavy projectiles. 170 grains and up, it did not like them. At 30 yards, I was getting unstabilized bullets, which should not happen. So I ended up listening to Readiness Review. He had the same issue with one of them that he got from RTI. He also had it counterboard, I believe, and it still wouldn't like the 170 grains. So I listened. I bought a box of 150 grain soft points, and those are perfect for this gun. They make it run excellent. The only thing I wish I would have bought is I'm looking for either the original magazines or I want to find a follower for the DP mag I have on my shelf back there. This is a $25 turd. I would never buy it if I wasn't such a cheap. But it works for what I have. I just have to be careful when I load it because it's just bad. For a magazine that's supposed to fit in and work right, it doesn't, and it don't catch the rounds. But if you have to get it for dirt cheap, you can. Okay, the next thing I bought from Apex was the bolt for this thing. It was $90. It is a I believe it's either a British or an Indian marked bolt. It's an Indian. There's a marking right here on the bolt handle. It's Indian. But I bought it for $90 because this one did not come with one. And I haven't had issues with it. The thing headspace pretty good. I had some issues earlier on, but I think that was just the brass being weird. I think the brass was slightly too small, and I was getting some swelling near the end, but I wasn't overpressuring. I wasn't getting any, primers backing out. I wasn't feeling any hot gases. Honestly, I think it was just the brass was a little weak. So $90, I bought the bolt for this thing. And the other thing it didn't have is it also didn't have its little safety on it. Let me go ahead and make sure that's decocked because it's empty. The little safety, RTI, I bought it off of them for $20. It is a flip over switch, just like the number 4 Mark 1. Completely down, locks the bolt in place. Forward, frees the bolt. This is a cock on close, just like the number 4. So when you pull it back, it don't cock, but when you close it, you'll see the cocking piece stay. And now it's cocked. And we can, bam. The other thing I had to replace on this is, if you notice, I have a nut and bolt on my 4-stock. Now, I bought this thing and the wood was so whittled down that you could actually see the little metal band in here. Like, it was so ate away. It looked like someone took a carving knife to it. I shot it for a while because that actually wasn't part of the main stress where you would have when you would shoot, because it's separate. This wood piece is separate from the buttstock, so mainly the buttstock was still taking majority of the force. But I went to go shooting one day, and this whole corner here just tore off from the impact. So I had to replace the 4-stock. I bought this also from Apex Gun Parts. Go them. And it showed up to me. It was another RTI takeoff from another rifle that someone was just selling on it. It's got all the wire band marks from where people were rubbing it and grinding off with a wire wheel. But the biggest character that I like is, I'm a car guy. I love nuts. I love having like trophies of broken bolts and nuts and shit. Well, they sent me one that has a nut and bolt on each side. This is supposed to be where the Ishi bolt is from Ishapur, an Indian rifle company that made number 1 Mark IIIs during World War II. And they still make some of them now, I think. But that's where the Ishi bolt's supposed to be. I'm thinking the bolt fell out and some dude just fucking socket and wrench this thing on here. Which it makes mine an even better piece, and it actually matches my redwood that I had left over from the old 4-stock. It fits it pretty good. I love the dark color. The only thing that I wish I would replace is this rear upper handguard. Normally it's supposed to run all the way to the crest right here, but this is just so worn down. However, I like keeping it because the other thing that normally breaks on these are these little wooden fins right here next to the iron sights. Those are usually the first thing to go. They snap right off, but this thing has both of them, and it protects it, keeps the iron sights safe, it stops a lot of the rust, and it keeps my hands safe from getting burned. This is the extra bonus rifle. Even though it costed me probably triple the prices it did to make other ones run, this has become one of my favorite rifles too. The only thing I'm looking for on it now is to get rid of this damn reproduction magazine. And that is my favorite guns and my bonus gun. I want you all to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you're curious on anything, or if you want to know what I'm doing next, what's going to be happening. I'm probably going to have a video of the range out here next soon. Hopefully. I just got to get the day off work to go do it. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.